Hello and welcome to another episode of New Retirement Thinking. I'm Samay Zake. Today, we're looking at some of the various challenges that we are faced with when it comes to planning for retirement, while analyzing living annuities as a modern way to secure a managed retirement. We have an expert who is going to help us navigate through that topic, and in studio with us is David Crossley. He is Business Manager, BDO South Africa. David, thank you so much for your time. So now, this is where we lead into the discussion, because for many years, the insurance industry has marketed one sort of annuity, and that's where, you know, at retirement you surrender your retirement capital to an insurance company, and then they of course set up a compulsory purchase annuity. That to some extent has been a very risky thing to do.
Risk is an interesting word there, because the advantages of that sort of what I call a traditional compulsory purchase annuity was that, notwithstanding the fact that you surrendered your capital to the insurance company, you bought the annuity, and the income that you bought was guaranteed to be paid to you until you died. Mm-hmm. There are various mixes in that. If you choose to have what we call a joint and last survivor, which means that you want your wife to have some income when you die, if you're the first person dying, or you want some form of escalation to be added to that, it can be done. But what happens in effect is that, because that builds in extra risk for the insurance company, the initial income that you will earn from your capital is going to reduce in proportion to the amount of benefits like that you add to that conventional type of annuity. But the actual amount that you receive is guaranteed irrespective of where the markets go.
So, to your mind, the advantage of the traditional retirement annuity, summarize that for us.
The traditional annuity, possibly the best advantage there is that if you want to know that at the end of each month you have X amount of money of your pension that is guaranteed, irrespective of what is happening out there in the market, then that is a distinct advantage. So to give you an example, you can buy a conventional annuity, which is called with a 10-year guarantee and thereafter for life. Now, the trend is that we do not have a 70 year and 10 life sort of run anymore. People are regularly living into their 80s and sometimes into their 90s. Health improves, longevity improves. So the traditional idea of most of us would be dead by the age of 70 or 75 has fallen away. And that puts a huge strain on retirement capital, because you have to make sure that your capital outlives yourself. And what is happening more and more is that people are running out of money before they run out of life.
What options would I have had if I were, you know, living well into my 90s, and now I've run out of capital with my traditional annuity? What sort of options would I be exercising at that point?
Well, if you've run out of capital on a traditional annuity, there are not very many options you can go through to.
Yeah, but
if you have no capital.
Could I make some sort of adjustments if now my advisor has now, you know, told me that, look, we've got to cater for the possibility that you are actually going to live longer?
All right. That is where the living annuity comes into the picture. And the living annuity has some very, very distinct advantages over the traditional annuity, because with the living annuity, the capital that is funding your pension or your annuity income remains essentially your property, even though you give it to an institution to create an income for you. And the living annuity, you can draw anything from 2.5% of the capital up to 17.5%. So, for example, if I go on semi-retirement, I can say to my advisor, please just pay the minimum 2.5%, because what that does is it minimizes the amount of tax I pay on that annuity income. As my retirement becomes more permanent, and as my other sources of income drop away, I may then choose to increase that 2.5% to anything up to 17.5%. That is the maximum that you can draw from a living annuity currently. There is a danger there, of course, and this is why it's so important that your lifestyle and your financial planner are in sync with what you are looking for in terms of your retirement. So, to give you a scenario, if my living annuity is performing in terms of the market at 10% per annum, I'm simplifying it, then I've got to be very careful that I don't draw more than 10% as an income. Because if I draw more than 10% as an income on a scenario like that, the capital that is providing my annuity is going to start to diminish. And the mistake a lot of people make is they will select an income which suits their lifestyle at that particular time, not thinking that that may compromise the capital amount that is available to create that income.
And that's the important thing right there, is that very often we fail to plan for the actual lifestyle that we're going to have at those different life stages.
Correct. Now, at BDO Wealth, one of the things that we espouse and one of the things that we actively promote to our clients is lifestyle financial planning. We're not the only ones. There are a lot of financial planners there who look at lifestyle. And what we do is we sit down with the potential retiree, not at retirement age, but hopefully beforehand, and we say to him, what do you want to do with your retirement? You're going to have to replace a car every few years. You may want to go overseas and visit your grandchildren or your children who are all over the world now. We have to cater that you have enough money to do that. So let's look at the resources that you've accumulated for your retirement, and let's make a plan using a living annuity and even using a compulsory annuity if we need to do that, to ensure that you will have money to pay for those things going forward. And we're going to review that at least on an annual basis, because a living annuity income can be adjusted on an annual basis. You can't do it in between. It can only be done once a year. So every year we would sit down with a client and we will say, right, let's review your lifestyle in your retirement. Do you need more? Do you need less? Do we have to make an adjustment? Is the capital under strain? Are you going to have to make some savings? And in that way, we can make sure that that capital and the income you derive from it will last for the foreseeable future. Obviously, if somebody's going to live to 120, we have a bit of a problem, but generally speaking, it's the regular planning and reviews that will allow us to preserve that client's income for as long as possible into his retirement.
Okay, let's take a break right there. Do stay with us. We'll be right back after this.